The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media.
So lay your hands on yourself and say this. It's my winning season. It's my winning season. It's my winning season. Let me hear you declare it tonight. Say it's my winning season. It's my winning season. It's my winning season. From now, this is what you gotta declare. Everything attached to me wins. Everybody sing it. Everything attached to me wins. Everything attached to me wins. Everything attached to me wins. Hey, hey, oh, you win. This is what we declare over you. You will win. I know you felt the pressure. One thing you gotta realize is you will win. Hey, yeah. Lay your hands on yourself and say this. It's my winning season. It's my winning season. Speak to your season.
To your season. This is my winning season. I don't know who knows something about that, but you better speak those things as though they are. Speak them to existence. But claim it right now. This is our winning season. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Conversation with Faye Lewis and Second Call. We're here today. We're excited. We have great guests today. And Skip, our co-host, he's here. He wasn't here last week. But I missed you, Skip. I'm glad you're back today.
Always glad to be back. I give honor and praise to God. Grateful to be alive, not dead or in jail.
Okay. And our special guest we have is Antonisha Jordan. She's a real estate agent. And we have a very, very dear, she's like a sister to me, Rita. Her name is Anna Moore. I'm sorry.
Anna
She a
Rita.
good
Anna
thing.
Rita.
Anna Rita.
But Anna Rita, we have with us. And Rita, how you feel today?
I feel awesomely blessed.
You blessed?
Amen.
Denise-
Highly favored.
And Denise, how you feel today?
Awesome.
That's good. That's good. Well, we're going to get on, start our show. And again, if you could call someone and tell them to tune in live to YouTube, Morris Media, Conversation with Faye Lewis and Second Call. You could call in with questions, remarks, and call someone, let them know this is going to be some interesting. Anna Moore has some very good information to give us. And that call-in number again is 323-293-3375. One more time. 293-3375, area code 323. All right, we're going to get on with our show. Anna Moore, she's an owner, broker of Wall Street Realtors, past president of Consolidated Board of Realtors. That's a big title.
Correct that. Realtis.
Realtis.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Anna, we're going to get our show. So I am so excited and glad that you're here.
I am too. I know last week I wasn't able to make it, but I am so glad to be here. I've been anticipating it all week long.
Yes, and I know you got something great for us, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, what do you do? You know, how long you been doing real estate?
So, as she said, I am the broker owner of Wall Street Realty, and I've been a real estate professional for over 23 years. And I'm also the past president of Consolidated Board of Realtors. And so you want to know, who are the Realtors? I'm so glad you asked. The Realtors we are the local chapter of NAREB, which is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and it was founded in the 40s out of the need for equal opportunity for African Americans.
That's very interesting. And I actually went to, when we came, you guys had something one weekend for new homeowners or something.
Yes.
And I saw these pictures on the wall, and it was showing the first blacks that when they started buying homes in certain areas. Yes. What was that about?
So those pictures that you saw were depicted some of the history from the Realtors, some of the advocacy work of the Realtors. And when they started in 1947, it was 11 men and 1 woman who went out, and they were coming from all across the country. And imagine in the 40s, it was really rough. But they came out and they fought against the inequities of African Americans in homeownership. in home ownership. And back then, we didn't really own as much. Well, we did. We had that 40 acre and a mule, a lot of us. But as civil rights,
who had 40 acres?
Well, I mean, our ancestors.
Did they got
it? Some of them, because some of them still got some properties down in the South, acreage.
All right.
But back in Chicago, they used to charge African Americans more money than white Americans to rent. And if you were one day late on your rent, you would come home from work and all of your stuff, everything in your house would be on the street. So the advocacy began there. And they started fighting for equal rights. The Realtors and NARAB is responsible for the Rumford Act, where they changed the race and deed restrictions. They used to have on deeds that you cannot sell to an African American or Chinese or whatever. So the Realtors are responsible for that advocacy work and having that removed from the deeds. Yeah.
Great information.
Clap it up.
Yes. So there's some things that we don't know. But one thing I want to get into is about the home ownership from Black African Americans in our community. How many homeowners, not how many homeowners we have, but what is the the rate? The rate.
So there's something called HMDA data that's they do surveys all over, and currently, African American home ownership, the rate is 42%, and we just went up 1%.
Was that nationwide, citywide?
Nationwide. We just went up 1% compared to white Americans, which is 72%, and Spanish Americans, Latinos, which is 52%. So we are the lowest in home ownership, and it's been said that we are the highest in every bad statistic and the lowest in every good statistic, African Americans. So we are at the total, the lowest in the total poll. And we had our ancestors fought so hard for equal rights and for freedom, and I just think we kind of lost it. So we need to bring awareness to these things, because we're not looking at it with clear eyes. We're looking at it like, okay, I get to live in a nice house, I got a car, this don't affect me. When it affects one, it affects the whole. So we got to get it together. We're going to have to educate, teach, and, we got to use some discipline.
Yeah.
It's manipulation.
Yeah.
So the manipulation is, and I see it happening, let's just go right behind where we are now, the Baldwin Hills area. So I have actually sat in the park in the Baldwin Village, what you call the jungles, right? So I've been in the village looking at the homes, and there's a separation. So you have lower economic community members looking at the middle class. And what happens is the middle class, that separation, that they wouldn't want their children playing with us. They send their children to other schools. They don't go through the same things we go through. So when an individual in the lower economic community is arrested or something happens, well, he must have done something. She must have done something. Whereas the homeowners don't want people from Watts, Compton, and those areas, don't want them coming around. So, it's like, really, we do it to ourselves, manipulation, thinking that because I have gotten out or because I own my property, that I'm better than the people, down the hill, whatever. And that's what happens. People down the hill, instead of them owning property, which is skyrocketed now, so they move to Moreno Valley, Palmdale, Lancaster, Adelanto, and they're still renting. They're renting for $1,000, $1,200 for the same size property that they can have out here, which is now $3,000.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and we do know that. And we want to educate our young people, because they can be homeowners before they're 30 years old now, because of the rent is so high, and it's like a mortgage. Right. So if you have a young couple that's married, and if they're educated right, they'll be able to be homeowners. I actually know a couple, a few that own their home and they're not 30 yet. Right. And then I know quite a few in Atlanta. and they're actually not 30. I know at least 4 or 5 people in Atlanta. They're not 30, and they're homeowners. Right.
So I think the systematically, they have designed here in Los Angeles. I can't speak nationwide, but 1968 they had the Fair Housing Act, where people of color would be able to move on the other side of the freeway, the 110 freeway. So now we have people going into Inglewood, West Adams, the Jefferson Park area, buying homes over even here in the Mert Park. and that was 1968. But what has happened since then is the war on drugs, the war on crime, which was really a war on the community, which we saw what happened in 1992, where the community was set on fire. It was left alone for so many years before the redevelopment. So during that time period, a lot of people are afraid of the police, afraid of each other. They moved out. When their parents died, they took the money and ran from the homes. Mm-hmm. Some of them were in prison. And now what we used to have is 70-80% of black Americans living in Leimert Park, South Central. Now we're down to about 12%.
Yeah. And our other guest, we have Antonisha. What do you have to say about this? You know, you're a real estate agent and you're part of the millennium, so the young millennium. So what do you have to say about that?
As a young real estate agent, I started off really young, and I'm really happy that I did because it gave me a lot of education that I wouldn't have gotten so young with just building my credit and being educated about realtors and what rights we have in our communities and whatnot. So I think that, being young, you can absolutely buy here. Absolutely, you can. And I suggest that you buy before renting here, because renting here, you're paying someone else's mortgage.
Right.
Renting here, you are paying someone else's family to have a cushion to fall back on, and you're not going to.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, being young in real estate, you learn to don't go rent an apartment, go buy an apartment and have someone rent from you and pay your mortgage.
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
So then the day you have kids or you have children and they grow up and they have property, they have somewhere to live while they're in college, or they have somewhere to work, property management while they're on your bills.
Yes.
So I just say that we all should just be educated. Don't just be ready to spend money in Marina Del Rey because you buy the beach, and when you can buy that, and probably your mortgage yourself is going to be cheaper than what your rent is.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I heard T.D. Jakes or someone say a few months ago, I'd rather be rich than look rich.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big statement.
Like that.
Because you can have a house on top of the hill, you can have a Benz, you don't own the Benz, and you don't own the house.
Right.
And you walking out the house with Louis Vuitton, so you look rich. But I want to be rich.
So think of this, though. So knowing I'm born and raised right here in Los Angeles, the property, matter of fact, the value of a house around the corner here on the corner of 48th and Victoria, I just Googled it real quick when I passed by, and it was $800,000. So my uncle actually lived and died on that block years ago, and he bought his home in the 90s for about $200,000.
Wow.
Had he purchased it in the 70s when he was renting, he probably could have got it for less than $100,000. So when we talk about that, and we talk about the average income for Leimert Park area, Jefferson Park, the Crenshaw High area, the average income is around $40,000 for the average person.
Wow.
You know, the nice income is about $60,000. And just generally speaking, they cannot afford to even live in the same community that they've been living in for their whole lives.
Wow.
How do we address that? Because I agree, young people should be educated. Older people should be educated. So educate me. How do the house that my grandmother had is worth about $800,000 in the West Adams area. And I know I could never, well, I can't say I could never, but right now, for this moment, right now as we speaking, today, I can't go over there and talk to them about nothing.
What tomorrow brings, but today.
Right.
Okay,
I would like to speak on that. Again, education is the key. Right. When your grandmama passed that house on to you, don't be so quick to go sell it. And don't go sell it to an investor or something. Make sure another family, a like family, gets the opportunity to own that property. We're too quick to take inherited properties and just sell them real quick and go buy a Cadillac. Cadillac don't need no more money from African Americans. Range Rover, don't drive a Range Rover and pay a landlord. Don't have a Land Rover and pay a landlord. Okay? No. There's some things that have a big circle and a line. No. Like, really get serious about your life. Young people who are listening, this is not a game. The Nikes and Jordans and all those people, they got enough money. They don't need no more of yours. Design your own. Become a shoemaker. Design your own. We need more African Americans doing and creating and inventing and being entrepreneurs. Stop being a consumer.
Right.
You know, be an entrepreneur.
Spending more than we make.
And when it comes to becoming a homeowner, it starts with your education. Your credit, don't buy something if you can't pay for it in the next check. And then you don't need every new iPhone, every new pair of Jordans, every new greatest little hit that comes out. You don't need it. You can do without it because you're going to get it. You're going to have it a year. What? iPhone just came out with another phone. I just got my X.
Didn't 3 come out this year?
Yeah, I don't need another iPhone. And
I
that's
got
400 or
Metro
500.
PCS
And y'all
right there.
balling out trying to get that 400 or 500 could go towards your savings.
And they buy the kids iPhones.
Your age group would never do this, huh?
No,
Like,
we
stop
wouldn't
it.
have an Android. Sorry. Your messages are green.
And another thing, the money in the black community.
I'm very practical. I am. To be my age, I am practical. Okay.
So let me say this. The community that you live in, African Americans, your dollar stays in your community 2 hours.
Right.
Wow.
The Asians and the white people and all that, their dollar stays in their community at least a week.
Right.
At least a week. I think it's 9 days. When you go to Recycling Black Dollars, you could go online and you'll see this.
It's about 9 to 11
That's
days.
sad.
Right.
Like, we need to be the store owner. Stop being a consumer. Oh, when we talk about black hair products, OMG. Like, leading. We spend so much money. I think we spend like so many trillions of dollars every year, and we don't own nothing. How can we be the highest paying? We have consumer power. We're the highest in consumer power, but we don't own nothing. Stop it. Knock it off. This is for real. If you want to create wealth, you got to get serious about this thing and be disciplined.
Right. So
Discipline your
right
family.
now, 40,000, 50,000 a year. How do we encourage people to start buying property when the property value in the community is 800? Might find something at
Really
5
fast.
or 6.
I want to go back
yes.
to you. You said your uncle owned the home right here, right?
Oh, the
Grandmother.
uncle, yeah.
No, uncle was around the corner.
Okay, is that house still in your family now?
No, exactly what she said
So
happened.
I just want to double up on something.
Exactly
we
what she
heard
said
about
happened
today.
when he passed.
Was something
His
that
daughter
came up in
blew
our
it.
meeting this morning. Back to educating ourselves. We have to have wills and living trusts. We're losing our homes that our families worked so hard for because we're not educated. Our family, they die. We don't automatically get it because we're your child.
Right.
That does not mean that I'm going to get your home.
Right.
Even if I can throw a will at you. You need a living trust.
Right.
A will just tell you what you will just tell me what you would like to do with your house when you die. This is what you would like. But that doesn't mean
It still goes to probate.
It's still going to go to probate. A living trust, then I can talk to you.
Right.
Okay.
And so to answer your question,
Right.
it seems impossible, but if we get together and unify, it's possible.
See, we
Start
still
buying
had
some
our
units.
homes.
We'll take 2, 3 people. If it take 4 of y'all to buy it.
So
That's it.
Here's
That's
the
it.
solution now. We're talking about collaborating.
Right.
Getting with 2 or 3 other investors
That's it.
from the community, and let's purchase the apartment building.
Exactly.
Let's purchase the home.
Find you some girlfriends.
And so,
you know?
right.
Flip,
My
flip, go ahead.
nieces, just want to say, I just closed my nieces.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And you know how many of them are paying that note? It's 5 of them.
Girls.
But they got a nice house. They went to go rent something. They got turned down like they was trying to purchase something. I was like, hold on, let's do this. We put it all together, and of course I had to help contribute, and I'm willing to do that. That's my give back. But 4 of them got together, and now they're homeowners. It's a 3-bedroom with a house in the back. And you would have thought they'd be renting all their life. Oh, no, we're going to break that curse
That's
in our
right.
family.
Ooh,
We're
Jesus.
going to build wealth in our family.
yes.
That's why that song, It's My Winning Season,
Right.
that's my song.
So you know what? I mean, I appreciate the 2 of you being here, but we should have had the nieces on the show today.
We can bring them back.
We need them nieces
I
because
can bring them back.
because they broke the cycle.
Yes.
They have to
Yes.
be able to share that.
Yes.
They got
And
to be
they
able
are
to
so
share that.
excited.
They're excited.
They are. One of them,
And I'm so
she
proud.
does our hair, our braids.
Yes.
One of the nieces, I've been knowing her before they were born. And
I
I'm so
get
excited.
all of our hair, huh?
Yes, we did all of our hair.
I gotta
Jamila.
find. We're gonna find your hashtag in a minute,
Yeah.
Jamila.
Yeah, Jamila don't do my hair.
But really, it's really important because I'm so excited for them. And then one thing, they're realists. I'm gonna let them finish talking. I just want to say one thing. On my block is one rental property, and the rest are, I believe, majority. The rest is homeowners. Everybody owns their home that they're in, but they are families. Maybe one or two people is just a husband and wife. There is family, and I need family.
Yeah.
That helps you pay your mortgage, and then you live comfortable. I live comfortable, and we're all living good.
So let me tell you, I'm going to tell you my age by telling you this. When I was growing up here in South L.A., the block would be homeowners. Even my mother, a single parent, she was a homeowner.
That's right.
The whole and my neighborhood where I come from, it wasn't a whole lot of dads. You know, maybe 3 or 4 families had a father in the home, but the mothers were homeowners.
Girls rock. Oh, we rock.
So something happened along the way, and the message was lost. And the very first thing I couldn't wait to do is get out of her house and go get my own apartment. You know what I mean? And that's how most of my friends thought. And most of the people I know my age now who own homes, there's maybe a handful who bought them, but the rest of them inherited their homes from their parents or grandparents. So we just weren't taught that. Let me tell you guys what my mother taught me. If somebody hits me, I need to hit them back. And if they're bigger than me, pick up something and knock the dog out of them. But she didn't teach me about my FICA score. She didn't teach me about property. She didn't teach me what you just taught your needs, how to come together and build as a community. And that is what was lacking in our community and why we're in the situation. But I think you had a great solution right there by teaming up with like minds and making it happen.
And remember this, nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. You put that prayer on that and you get that education, He's gonna make sure.
And I started thinking, but I'm really now gonna push the issue that they say Black African Americans cannot live together. Yes, we can. We got to.
We have
because
to.
Every other nationality, they're living. They all got nice cars, and they are not drug dealers, and they not all that other stuff. They work it because they're putting it together. And Antoinette, she's 28. And, I mean, the education that she has now, maybe by the time she's 35, she'll own 3 or 4 properties.
Yes.
I'm going to own 3 or 4 properties by the time I'm 30. But
that's what I'm talking. Speak those
and
things.
you guys don't have to stay in the same place. Buy income property. Buy a 4-plex. Live in 2. You live in a 1-bedroom. I live in a 1-bedroom. Let's rent out the other 2.
That's right. That's
Who
right.
said you have to share walls?
Yeah.
Just come together and the business end.
The business.
And I want to say, everybody in this room, whoever is attached to you, you make it a promise that you make sure they become homeowners and make sure they buy real estate. You make sure you get the education to them. Because it's now that you know, it's your obligation to teach them.
Right.
So everybody in this room, whoever's attached to you, your kids coming up, the kids even in elementary school, they need to learn about banking, credit, FICO, and importance of investment. So we are charged, now that we've been enlightened, we're charged to, you have to make sure all your children become homeowners, or yours, or your family. We can do this.
Right.
One at a time.
I remember years ago when your oldest daughter went to college.
Yes.
You went back there and bought a piece of property for the college students and rent from her.
Yes. Yes.
That was, I remembered that. I was like, that is a good idea.
And she owns 15 properties now.
Wow.
And she didn't even, I didn't even know she was going to get into real estate. She just went down there, put I gave her $15,000. She bought a little house. I think she paid $6,000 for her first house, and she still owns it. And her daddy helped her to renovate it. Then she rented it out, so she had 6 bedrooms. She rented out to the college students for $200 a month and moved and bought another house. And kept doing it.
That reminds me of my little brother. So we have different fathers, and his father was into real estate. His father owned A&W Realty out here in L.A. for years, right before he closed it down. So my little brother's a millionaire now because his dad took him to Texas right before Hurricane Katrina and said, look how cheap the property is out here in the suburbs of Dallas. And he said, we're not in the city. We could buy it cheap out here. They bought a whole bunch of property. About 7-8 months later, Hurricane Katrina sent all those people to Texas.
Wow.
And
because that was the relief.
Right. So at that point, the value of the property started going up. And his dad said, don't sell. Let's build. Let's build and rent. Rent a couple of them, sell a couple of them. And he just started making money from our 5 properties in Texas.
Oh,
so you can take your fortune here and then go to another state. Where you can, you know, you got some people say, "Oh, if I can't drive to it, I don't want it." Don't be so close-minded, because you could still acquire and create wealth in somewhere else.
Because
it doesn't
like
have to
Faye
be in
said,
California.
Atlanta, 4 or 5 couples that own property underneath 30 years old. It is possible to own property underneath 30.
Right. And one quick question, Rita, I want to ask you. Okay, we're doing all this talking, and someone says, there's my grandson. He's ready to buy this year.
Okay.
Okay, so I know he know, but just in case someone don't know, give us the first steps. When I say, okay, me and my husband, a young couple, I'm saying, we're getting ready to buy. What is our first step to do?
The first thing you need to do is sit with a lender and let them discuss your finances, how much you can afford, what's comfortable for you to pay. Check your FICO score, your income, so on and so forth. That is where you start. But really, before you even start there, go to a home buyer club session, because they have workshops. They have them every weekend somewhere. West Angeles has them. Consolidated has them. We have those home fairs. And then you go and get the information. Then you pair up with a lender, okay? And then you get on. They'll put you, even if your credit is nothing, okay? Still do this, because you'll know what you need to do to prepare for home ownership, how much you need to save. They'll put you on a budget. You'll speak with a financial advisor. You get all of you'll learn the real estate verbiage, about making an offer and title insurance and property taxes and how much it is. So you want to get, the education is the key. That's where you start. But you go from the workshops, pair up with a lender. If your credit's bad, get on a MAPS program, and that's a budget. Start cleaning up your credit. And then once you get to that point and they say you're ready, then you pair up with a good real estate professional, not somebody that's in it for $1. Because if you're with an agent that's struggling, and all they're going to try to do is just show you something real quick. You need to get with a professional who is committed to your success in becoming a homeowner. So your grandson, send him to me. I got him.
Well, when I first got ready to, after all these years, because I did own a home years ago, remember, in Hillsboro. And just think then, that was in 1984, I was paying $1,800 for a house note. On Hillsboro, that's in Beverlywood. That was my first home. So now that's probably, $2 million?
Oh, easy.
Hills, Robertson, and...
That's called Beverlywood. That Beverlywood area is nothing under $2 million.
So that's what my house had, Olympic-sized pool and everything, But fast forward, and when I got ready to get this home, I went to Rita. Remember, I went to the workshop, and I took my time. And I had to redo my credit. It took me a year to get my credit right. And she sent me to someone, okay, I got pre-approved. And they told me, go do this. Go pay this off. Get this. Do this. And it took me a year. But I got it straight. And when I walked into my home, my FICO score, it wasn't 800, but it was higher. It was high. But it was decent. And it was just required work. Now, I have to go back now and I still need to take that class as a homeowner, because we're in a process. I have some family things that's going on, issues going on. So I'm really right now going to have to get back into understanding, once you're in the home, how to maintain it and live, because you could get there and only have money for the house note.
So you want to know how to retain home ownership. And you have to be on a budget. That's number one. Yeah. But they have also, to answer your question about what the first steps are, learn about the programs, because Los Angeles City has several programs. They have the low to moderate income programs called LIPA, and they have one for low income and one for moderate income. In LIPA, you can get up to $90,000 down towards your down payment.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you qualify for $300,000, if you get qualified for LIPA, now you're almost at $400,000. And some of it's forgivable. Some of it is just you have to pay it back. Some of it is a silent partner. If you sell within 5 years, you have to give it back, or something, split the equity.
Right.
They have a lot of different programs. So learn about the programs.
Sale.
And don't they have? Someone talking about you can do classes too, and they give you so much towards your down payment. One of the programs.
They have the WISH programs, classes, and then there's one with our organization's Women's Council. They give you $1,500 towards down. But the WISH program with Union Bank, if you have $5,000, they match it. Right. So if you have $10,000, they match it up to $15,000.
Is that
Right. But you do have to
I've
go
been
through the
banking at Union
homeownership
Bank
way.
for over 12 years.
Okay,
I never knew
well,
that.
you could do the Wish program. They still have it. And Caesar Trellis, he's a great friend of mine. He can, and Sean Brown.
Over on
they can take
Jefferson.
you right through the
Yeah,
whole
that's
process.
that's my branch on
Jefferson
Jefferson
branch.
with what's her name is the manager though? Karen.
Yeah, I met Karen.
Karen and Cynthia and them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So-
is not a shout out to Union Bank.
No, but
I don't
if you
get
go
free
tell them Wall Street
advertisement.
sent you.
So what is your number so people know how to get in touch with you ladies?
Okay, so again, Anna Moore, Wall Street Realty. Woo, woo.
Where is Wall Street in L.A.? That's over on the east side?
I'm so glad you asked.
Is it between town and Avalon? Is that where Wall Street is?
Hold on. Hold on. This was the good news I wanted to share.
Okay.
Wall Street Realty got their keys to their new office today.
All right.
And
That's good.
clap it up. So it's on La Brea. It's
La Brea,
at North
okay.
La Brea. It's 1325 North La Brea in Inglewood.
All right.
Yeah,
right.
it's called we're
That's
in the
over by,
Latieria
Fairview.
Village. Yes,
That's over by
just
Fairview.
north of Fairview, right across from Fiesta Martin. So that's our new home. Wall Street is in Ladera, Inglewood, and Latieria Village, y'all. Come and visit us. We're going to have our grand opening soon. Stay tuned.
I'm going to come hang out. You know why I'm going to hang out?
Come and hang
Because I
out.
was told if I hang around bank robbers, eventually I'm going to be one. So if I hang around homeowners,
You're gonna be,
You'll be
and
one.
that is that's the beacon of light that God blessed us with. And just a little story behind it. We've been looking for a year for a space. It was either too high, it was this, it was that.
Or we thought
And
we
their
had
credit,
it,
issues or whatever. We thought we had it. They made us wait. But this man, when we went to him, our friend rents from him. She was like, okay, I'll call him for you. He hadn't been calling anybody back. But he called us back. And my daughter is 2 doors down from me. She opened her store as well, Clinet.
Okay, she has
There's
one
a clothing
downtown.
store.
She's moving that one.
Okay, she's
Yeah.
moving here to Inglewood.
To Inglewood. We'll be 2 doors down.
Okay.
So we're going to light up La Brea. We're going to be
Okay.
that beacon of light for home ownership. So don't you guys miss out. We're going to make sure it's all over social media when we have our home fair, our little home ownership workshops will be coming up. Stay tuned. We're going to have all kind of information. I'm going to show you how to get a house. Don't worry. You come to me. If you got a post, you're going to get a house. Okay?
all right.
Okay, we're
That's
gonna
where
go.
we get the theme music. She has a theme
Okay,
song.
we finna do an intermission real quick. We're gonna come back before we close it out and let these ladies wrap it up. And I know they have a secret they've been holding. They're gonna tell you. So tune in if you want to come.
Yeah, it's
Tell
on La
y'all
Brea.
again, no.
1300 North La Brea. That's the secret.
That's the secret. 1325 North La Brea.
Okay, before we go to this intermission, I also heard that some people think that you got to always have 30 and 40. If you're buying just you and your husband, that you got to have like $40,000 to put down on a house. And
No, absolutely not. The program that's used the most is the FHA loan, and it allows you to put down only 3.5%. And your FICO score, they started with FICO scores as low as 580. But, when you come
I
in
think
with a
that's me.
580 score, you're going to get layered fees. So be prepared to pay a little higher interest. Get your score up. Don't let them get you on the interest because the interest is for 30 years. It doesn't change when you buy a fixed one. But FHA is the most widely used loan product
And
today.
then they have the VA.
They have VA, then they have LIPA, they have Cal FHA. They have a lot of programs, but FHA is the main one that they use. Yeah.
Okay.
And now
then-
they have also 100% finance. Of course, you have to qualify, but
Right.
they have zero down.
Right. Okay, we're going to take an intermission. We'll be right back with you.
Woo!
Yes.
Baby, now I got the flow, 'cause I know it from the start. Baby,
down. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me. But I do. Return up to me. Return up to me. Hold on. Return up to me. Don't you know that I'll be back. Here I go. Return up to me. Oh, little girl. Return up to me. Once more, girl. Return up to me. Up and down. You know that I'll be back. Round and round. The return of the man. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me. But I do. Return up to me. Return up to me. Come on. Return up to me. Oh my God. You know that I'll be back. Here I am. Return up to me. Once again. Return up to me. Top of the world. Return up to me. You know that I'll be back. Don't you know? Return up to me. Return up to me. Hold on. Return up to me. Be strong. You know that I'll be back. Here I go. Return up to me. My little girl. Return up to me. What's my best? Return up to me. Up and down. Well, I know that I'll be back. Round and round. Return up to me. Return up to me. Return up to me. You know that I'll be back. Return up to me. Return up to me. Return up to me. You know that I'll be back.
Hello,
little
we're
girl.
back.
I love when he-
We're back. I hadn't heard that song in a long time. He said, "You lied to me. You told me that you love me."
You lied to me. That's my get up song. You lied to me. Watch this, because I'm coming back.
That's the youngster.
I'm just like, hey, it's okay. You lied. It's all right.
You got somebody upset now. You better flashback. But yes, we have Anna Moore.
Now, call her
and
Rita again.
Tanisha. You did that to me last week, remember, Linda? You know these things.
Oh, my bad.
Oh my God. That's an inside joke. Excuse me. Okay, we're back here with conversation with Faye Lewis and Second Call. And again, we have Anna Moore and we have Tanisha. And these are two real estate agents, and they've given us such a great information. So before we close out, Rita, you have anything else you want to say? And then Antoinette also.
She did it again. Huh? See, I didn't know until now. Now I know.
Now you see what
Yes.
So I would say one thing I didn't mention with
right.
Consolidated and NARAB is our mission is to create 2 million new black homeowners in the next 5 years. So I want to say black homeownership matters. It's the number one vehicle to creating black wealth. Don't get it twisted. You guys better take life serious. And you young folks, you're responsible. We're passing the torch to you. You got to get it right. That's my story.
No, just come visit us at our new office for all of your real estate needs.
Yes.
No,
What's the
I've
address?
really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much, you guys, for having us today.
I enjoyed you all too. Okay, you're going to give us the address to the new building.
Okay, so the address is 1325 North La Brea. We're in North Inglewood, the Latihara Village area, Ladera Heights area, come and see us. We will create a new homeowner in you.
All right. That sounds like a
right.
commercial.
It
We
is.
would create a new homeowner in you. So, have you ever been watching TV, laying on the couch, daytime, and they say, I can get you a job?
You laying on the couch.
I can get a job? Yeah, just give us all your money and go to DeVry.
Okay, before we close out, we have to remind you all also, remember Second Call on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock. Skip, give us the address and tell us a little bit about Second Call for someone that's first time tuning in, what Second Call stands for.
So, Second Call stands for Second Chance at Love and Life, and we meet every Thursday at 6 p.m. at 3500 South Normandy. Shout out to Pastor John Tunstall for allowing us to use the Abundant Life Church right there on the corner of 35th and Normandy, and for free. And what we basically do is help individuals understand the process, of getting into a career. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people come home and say, well, when I say come home, either from incarceration or just from laying on the couch, they come to the realization they need to do something in life, but they don't know what the process is. So we help them get into the electrical union, iron workers, sheet metal, carpenters, whatever it is. But something you guys said earlier, too, not just get in, but to retain that position, to be able to keep it so they can be homeowners. And there's a lot of homeowners that come and meet with us on Thursday. A lot of people who are working on the Rams Stadium just built the Kaiser Hospital. They built the L.A. Football Club, which is the soccer field on King. So,
Sounds like
we
a lot
have
of potential clients, too.
a lot of potential clients.
Men.
Potential dates. Huh?
Hey, remember, though, he lied to you. So return of the Mac now.
Who said it wasn't him? It could have been a job. It could have been a school. It could have been anything.
But it's a lot of people like-minded who are ready for the change, ready to go to work. And one of the things that we do is we say that this is a consistent journey. It is not a destination. So just because they become employed, it's not as if, okay, you don't need it now. We're going to take a picture with the mayor, give you a certificate. No, continuously come back 3, 4, 5 years because they're bringing in the next iron worker, sheet metal, electrician, carpenter, and helping them understand what the process is. So
I love it.
And the money is so good. I actually met Skip 12 years ago when I always say my only son was murdered. James Thomas introduced me to Skip, and I started taking my 2 grandsons. And at the time, they were young. 3 grandsons. Earl was a little boy then.
He's a baby.
He was a baby then.
Right.
But so I've been in Second Call for 12 years. It's an organization, and we talk every week. We talk about anger management because a lot of people can go to work, but if you got anger problems, anger issues, you're not going to have that career long. Mm-hmm. And John always said, "Who wants a job? A job is journey of the broke." He said, "Get a career."
Amen.
He always
because I can't buy, that's what I was saying. I can't buy a home in L.A. with a job.
Nope.
I just can't. I have to have a career. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to afford it. And still, like you say, on the budget, be able to take care of other necessities as well.
Mm-hmm. And so one thing that's Second Call, we talk about dysfunction. Some people can live in a dysfunction life for so long till it becomes normal. Mm-hmm. So we talk about that. Some people think, what John, he always said, this is a little scenario he always say, you go to people's house and you hear this beep, beep, and you say, what is that? Oh, that's a smoke detector, need a battery. And it'd be months before they put a battery. But I put this battery in mine, so all my smoke detectors
you got
are
a new
working.
battery now?
Yeah, I had a battery out for 2 months and they clamped.
But John,
my friend came and changed mine. Don't feel
but
bad.
Skip made me last week. He said, "Why is the battery sitting on the floor?" I said, "Okay, it made sense. You're upstairs, and if the smoke comes, you don't even know it because your smoke detector doesn't have a battery. It's something very simple, but
That could
going
save you.
and my neighbor has one out, and when I go outside, taking my trash out, I hear it. I don't even think they're aware of it.
Because they're so used to it.
They're so used to
Hey,
it.
listen, John get all of us like that. So I was living in an apartment I was renting in Hawthorne, right? And John is on the phone. He said, "Man, what is that? What is that noise?" I said, "I don't know." What is it that you hear, right? And he said, "No, just hold on." He said, "That right there." this smoke detector was above my bed in the room.
That's how
And I
mine
said,
was, so I didn't notice it.
right, it
you
just,
let it be.
I could go to
Just let
sleep
be.
with it.
And when I would go to
I
sleep
can
and
go to
stuff,
sleep
and when
with
my
it,
friend would
yeah.
come over, he'd be like, "Are you serious?"
Are you
Like,
serious?
and, like, "Oh, I'm bringing some batteries tomorrow."
And it's really important because you're sleeping. What if the smoke comes? But
Or not even smoke. Sometimes it's carbon monoxide.
Yeah, and so I'm saying that to where some people think that's normal.
Right.
So if you have a person that every time they get upset, they knocking stuff over, they hitting and acting, that becomes normal,
Yes.
and you look for that. But that's not normal. That's some issues. And also, we're going to have a very good friend of mine here talking about mental illness too. I think at the first of next month. He's going to come on, and he has degrees. He's went to college, and he studied, and he goes as far as Victorville, anywhere. And you may know him. I'll look at his name. But
Does he do diagnosis? Like he'll come in here and do something like this and say, "You got it."
Something wrong with you.
Put your hand up here. See?
I think they have to talk to you here for a while. You can determine if it's a mental issue. But no, because we have a lot of mental issues in our community. In our community, you even work with people that get up in the morning. They have to take a pill every day to stay calm. Right. And if they go past that time for that pill, you'll see another side of them.
You know what? Not to cut the value of that, but I tell people that. So when I teach in the classes in the prison, the women's prison, I tell them that. I say, you have to do an interview because the person that you're dating, you want to know, do they take a pill in the morning? You don't know about it. Or does their family have a history of taking pills?
Yes.
Because then you procreate with them and then you got a baby saying, why that baby doing that? And you don't know that baby need a pill. Right.
Yes, and Skip does go into the women's prisons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is so deep.
That is
but
so
real.
Yes,
it is.
Yes. And so in second call, what we do, we meet in a big room and we just kick back. You would be surprised who come. You never know who's sitting in that room. It could be a man from just got out from doing 25 years. He's working. They working on the trains. And John is he's over foreman now.
No, he's superintendent.
He's a superintendent.
He's a site superintendent, meaning that he stays on that site, but he's a superintendent. But the one thing about John is he still wears a tool belt. So, even though he's making about 200-something thousand a year, John Harriel still live on the east side. But he's a homeowner. He's a homeowner.
Yes,
he says, I'm not going to move, I'm going to improve. So I got to give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. But he still wears his tool belt.
So he's going to buy the block then, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to tell him that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Buy the block.
I'm going to tell him that.
He has his foundation.
Yeah.
I wish he was
help him over at Wall Street.
Okay. 1325 North La Brea.
North La Brea.
Yes.
Across the street from Bayou Grill.
Across the street, yeah.
We here. We ain't going nowhere.
Right.
No, because I'm excited because now that we know we're held accountable. So now when I start talking to my nieces and my daughters, this is one of the conversations I'm going to have.
Yes.
Now even with my grandkids.
Yes.
When I go give them a few dollars, I'm going to find some kind of way to put that in to make it seem like, okay, how much is that? I want you to save. If it's just $3, you're going to put $1 away. Mm-hmm. Start teaching them that because once you know, you're held accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
When you don't know, you don't know. But now we know we've gotten this information, how important it is, because they're our next generation. This is going to be our next mothers, fathers, homeowners, business owners, and we want to be able to live. I want my children to be able to live, not living with somebody because they have to, living with somebody because you guys are building something,
Well, I had to, though, Sister Faye. I had to live with people till I can get it together. So don't just knock them for that,
I didn't take that personal because I wasn't talking to you.
I think it's okay to live with somebody while you're trying to set, when you have a goal set.
It gets cold at night and, being outside and all that, tax season come and,
Well, we're
trying to figure out all that.
What is he talking about?
No, this is good conversation.
This is yes.
Well, I knew you guys were important when I came because she gave one of y'all my cup and gave me the so
That's
I know
a new cup.
Yeah, gave me the new cup, but it don't look like one of the pimp cups. So I knew y'all was important. I didn't know who it was, but I said, I got to listen
in the
to them.
building. Everybody hands go up. No.
But yeah, so we want you to take this information and share it. Share this video with someone. And keep in mind, we got to get smarter. And I'm saying we. I usually speak in the I, but I'm speaking as we. And we have relatives that money, and you don't have to. I'm thinking now, if you make if you make $4,000 a month, and I make $4,500 a month, then my sister here, she makes $5,000 a month. We put that together and buy a piece of property. We don't have to live together. We can buy, like she said. So that's very good information. I picked that up today, and I'm going. This is my wheels is rolling because this is my season, and I'm claiming it. I'm speaking it, and I want to see some great things happen. You know, because knowledge is power.
Power.
Right.
Power.
And I don't care how old you get, because they say the second half is better than the first half.
Okay.
Those who were last going to be first now.
All right. All right.
Amen.
But again, if you have if you have a young man or a young woman that's dealing with a lot of issues, drop by Second Call on Thursday nights, and you would be so surprised. Like I said, there's so many people sitting in that audience. When we first started 12 years ago, it was only 5 people, and Skip used to take people to work.
Yeah.
I love to hear that story.
So the way it started, so I just want to say it was 5 people on that Thursday.
Give back to the community.
But when we were doing it on Tuesday night only, we had gotten as many as 50, 60 people. And what happened when we moved to Thursday, only 4 or 5 came, and now it's grown to where Tuesday might have 14 people and Thursday have about 50, 60 people. But no, what happened is I just want to reduce the violence in the community. How can I stop the killing, the shooting, and all that? So what I would do is I would get Tiny Killer, Baby Shooter, Little One Punch, and I, get them a job, and I take them places, get them some chicken wings and stuff, and say, man, I want to talk to you. But what they would do is they would show up at work high, late, drunk. They work 1 week and quit. They steal the tools. They get the check and hide the check in the butt crack, because that's where they hide their money when they sell drugs. And it just... It morphed like, as much as I wanted to, I couldn't continue to hold their hand.
Just let it go.
So I had to give them some tools. And what happened, and that's how we get down to 4, because I got 20 or 30 people that will let me hold their hand. But when I say now you are accountable yourself, I want to show you how to do it. I'm not going to feed you. What I want you to do is learn how to feed yourself. And now that 30 goes down to 10 or 15 automatically, and then we end up with 4 or 5. But it's okay, because I think I got to talk to 100 people to change the lives of about 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep talking to 100 and 100 more and 100 more, to where now, Second Call, we keep promoting Thursdays, but we have 14 classes per week.
We do.
We have, even tomorrow, I got more classes tomorrow than I can do. We have classes 9 o'clock in the morning at Flint Ridge in Pasadena, and 11 o'clock, me and Shanae going to be at Southwest College. So, Shanae is having a class right now in Long Beach. Tuesdays, there's a class in the prison, a class in Antelope Valley, and also a class on South Hobart.
Right.
we've just grown tremendously. And I'm grateful to God.
Yeah, I used to go all through the week,
Yes,
taking my
you did.
grandsons. So, they went through their little changes, but they finally got it right.
They are
Because
good.
like I said, if eventually something gonna come in your head, like
Right.
a light gonna come on,
Yes.
like something I'm doing is wrong, So, excuse me. So that's one thing I love about Second Call, and I'm proudly to represent them because they have helped me a lot. I've been going, and I go for anger management, but I haven't gotten a certificate yet. I'm still working on me.
Lifelong.
But, I'm much better than I used to be. But also, one more thing before we close. Skip, in the process, when we have young family members or people we know, they're young men, they come out of prison, they figure because they have a felony, even a young woman, that they can't get a career.
Right.
And that's not true.
No, so actually we deal a lot with the unions, and we only deal with careers and not jobs. So a lot of times what happens is the unions are looking forward to the individual who has absolutely no history in that field. And the reason is because if you work for your uncle, if you work non-union, if you had anything to do with some kind of career college in that field, you've learned the wrong way. You were not trained by the union, so then they'd have to unteach you the way that you've been doing things for however long to teach you the right way. So they would prefer individuals who come home from prison who don't have that experience, because now it's like a clean slate. and now they can teach them the way they want them to be, and it'll be much easier.
And I've seen them come home and they come in, they have attitude. Some of them come in open, like, I've done all this time incarcerated. Now what am I going to do? They come home, they get in boot camp, and they make it $500 a week in boot camp. So then they get their career, they're able to take care of their families. I remember one meeting we was in, a young man came back he had got in the career years ago after he was destroying the neighborhood. He got himself together, and he came back and said he's been working long enough now, and this is a black African American young man. He said, I make enough I can take I took my whole family to the Bahamas. That's what I'm liking about our black African American men. They're standing up, being able to take care of their kids now. And who's building the train? They're part of Second Call.
Yes, indeed.
They built Kaiser from the ground up. John, them right. We got pictures, news. Remember, all
about
through
3
the
or 4
process.
news articles about the Kaiser.
Yeah, the Kaiser, and that was a big project.
Yes.
So they have a lot of stuff going on that people can say. Matter of fact, there's no reason that no one that can be in that field need to be saying they can't find work, because next 10 years they're building up LA.
Well, even right now, I am the job
next 10
developer.
years you will have work.
I am the job developer for the Jordan Down projects. And right now I am looking for concrete workers, concrete structural workers, and I don't have any from out of the projects that they're building. So my first priority is to get people from Jordan Down's project working, and there are absolutely none. I got a couple carpenters and tapers and other things, but no concrete finishers. And it's the same thing in the Watts area. I just don't have any. So I have to go outside and ask people who just live in Los Angeles to come and work there. And for me, it's a tragedy because I want to put the people from that area to work. We have more work than we have workers.
They have to be clean, drug-free.
And that's one of the reasons.
That's one of the reasons.
Got to put
marijuana.
the weed down.
No marijuana.
Even though it's legal, no, you cannot. You
dealing with electricity and you high. You done blew up yourself and everybody.
Yeah, everybody gonna get dead.
I love to listen to them. Let me say this before we close out. This is funny to me. By listening to the carpenters and electricians, John told us how many people have you ever turned your microwave and your microwave and something else on in the kitchen where it knocks your a switch on?
Oh, yeah.
And John said, how do you go to the box? I said, we open the box and go there and click it down. He said, don't you know that whole thing could blow up in your face?
Right.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
Tell him,
because the power has backed up. So now what happens when I go and hit the button, I'm releasing the power. And imagine just shaking up something, the power in a soda bottle. And I shake it up, and now you release it. Where does it go? It'll come right at me. It's the same thing with power.
So what are we supposed to do? Look,
So what I'm supposed to do is see it right there, turn my head this way, and then hit the switch. So if it does explode, it'll just get my hand, but not my face. But most people do like me. I can't see with my glass, so I had to do like this and get close, like that one, and it will go pow.
That's interesting.
So it's not going to happen all the time, but in the event that it does happen, wear protection. So part of safety is they would have on a safety mask, they would have on goggles, they would have on face protection, whereas the average homeowner is just going to go back there and do exactly what Sister Faye said. Just put their face right there and say, this is it.
I've been doing it for years. That scared me. But I don't have that problem now. But in my other house I was living at, if I had the microwave on with something in the kitchen, it would knock off a switch. Mm-hmm. So I would have to go out the back door on the side, open up the box, and be like, that's the one. Click.
Right. Bless your heart.
Okay, we getting ready to close. I enjoyed you guys so much. I'm so glad you took your time. And she stayed over. She actually said, I have so much to do. I'm going to leave in 30 minutes.
I was enjoying myself so much. I looked at that clock.
I'm so happy. And this is, and see, one thing about this, when we get off air, you could look at it tonight on YouTube. You can look at it tomorrow. I sit down and I go over and over and see how I can better myself, what guests I'm going to have, what my guests said. So I'm getting knowledge. Definitely. And I love this because we're going to have our own talk show next.
Okay.
Yes,
all right, we're getting ready to close. Thank you for joining us. Anna Rita, I'm so grateful. Antonisha. I'm so glad to have you guys, and I'm I'm just excited. I'm really excited. And you have a birthday next month. I always
do.
remember your birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a birthday.
Yes. Anna has a birthday.
It's a big birthday for me, too.
All right.
God is so awesome.
It's a huge birthday.
Is it?
Is that big? All right.
Well,
She's a
you
big
know.
girl. Hey, that's an important woman
Yes.
in LA.
Every birthday is a huge
It
birthday
is.
because you're
It is.
still here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I'm going to get older. Ooh, thank
Somebody
you.
didn't make it our age that we know.
Right.
And there's some living that's not in their right mind.
Right.
So I
Okay.
thank God I'm living. I'm in my right mind. And what I've been through, I sure don't look like it. Stay
Thank
tuned.
you,
See
Lord.
you next week.
And we are one.
Okay.
And we are one.
Yes.
We the wolf pack.